Is expected to be buried on Sunday. Flags flew at half-mast in Zimbabwe yesterday in memory of the former leader. Mugabe ruled the country for nearly 4 decades. While initially celebrated for helping liberate the country, in later years he was criticized for allowing Zimbabwe to rapidly deteriorate. Let's speak to NCA's Samkele Maseko, who is in Harare. So, Samkele, obviously it's a couple of days now. It's had time now to sink into people's psyche there that he's gone. What's the feeling?
At this point in time, Jane, the feeling on the ground is that the former statesman Robert Mugabe is no more. Seemingly, locals are continuing as usual here back home, and they are not particularly grieving as South Africans grieved when the late statesman in our country, the founding father of our democracy, Nelson Mandela, passed away. It's not the same here as in Zimbabwe. Back home, you will see placards of people going around mourning the death or the passing on of the former statesman Nelson Mandela. But here, seemingly in Zimbabwe, it's just that the national flag is flying at half-mast at all government and legislative buildings and in some hotels as well. But they are not in a particularly true mourning spirit as you were if an African leader has passed away. It's business as usual. Zimbabweans are going about their business, but there is some sort of bickering that is seemingly simmering between the state and the family of Robert Mugabe, because it is reported that the family does not want Robert Gabriel Mugabe to be buried at the National Heroes Acre, which is where normally all liberation icons and struggle icons of Zimbabwe are laid to rest. He may be seemingly sent back to his home village of Zimbabwe, where he grew up and was born.
And I'm also hearing that there are some sort of security concerns ahead of the funeral, that those who supported him are fearing for their safety. What do you know about that?
At this point in time, Jane, it's not yet clear what the security details are around those who were still staunch supporters of Robert Gabriel Mugabe and those who were his political foes. What we do know is that there is some sort of a disagreement that may be there between those whom Robert Mugabe may perceived as his political detractors and those who were his tormentors leading up to that coup and that resignation that led him leaving office and no longer being the president of Mugabe after almost being in power for almost 4 decades, as you alluded earlier on. In fact, being in power in Zimbabwe for 38 years, first starting off as the prime minister of this country and later on taking over as the president of Zimbabwe. You'd go to the various sagas that have taken place and scenarios in his presidency, such as the Matabeleland massacres, such as the land grabs when in the early 2000s, when they finally implemented the Lancaster resolutions of returning the land back to the indigenous people of Zimbabwe. So it seemingly looks like Robert Gabriel Mugabe did have a wish that he portrayed and spoke out to his wife Grace Mugabe of him being taken back to his final resting place in his home place of Zimbabwe on Sunday, where he will finally be laid to rest. But the official funeral will take place at the National Sports Stadium here in Zimbabwe on Saturday, Jane.
Right, Samkele, thank you.